Hey guys, hope you're doing well. I've got some great news because the Tahoe is back, and 3 of the biggest things I've been wanting to do to this vehicle ever since I got it are all finally getting done. We have some stuff here, so let me show you what's going on and what we're gonna get to do. The Tahoe is back from the paint shop. As you can see now, she is entirely covered in the beautiful indigo blue metallic. Here's the paint code right here for those of you guys that were asking. And if you remember, there was essentially a two-tone and it was blue and silver. Not gonna lie, I did actually like it, but for how I wanted to put the vehicle together, it didn't really line up. So it's kind of limiting what I could do. But with getting it done, we also added these fender flares, which I really like. And we also got the bumper color matched as well. Usually for OBS Chevys, the bumper and the grille are gonna be the same color, whether it's chrome or blacked out or color matched. I kind of want to do a little bit different, just to kind of play with the blacked out headlight housings. I think it'll look a little bit better, just kind of like all dark right here. And this came out really good. Granted, this isn't like the first time anyone's ever done this. I've seen a ton of people do it. That was the first thing. This has been something I've been wanting to do forever, and it came out really good. You can really see that sparkle in the paint, so I'm really happy about this because it's been something I've been wanting to do for a while. I think it just gives it a much more uniform look. So I'm really happy having everything all one color. Another good thing about it was that the two-tone was actually at this body seam right here, so even if the color wasn't as like specifically spot on, you wouldn't be able to tell because that body seam really hides it. But as you can tell just from right here, he did a great job, so it looks really good and uniform. All looks to be the same color. We also have a brand new set of wheels. The ones that it has are pretty dated and pretty beat up, honestly. I will credit them for giving me like an overall just look of the vehicle and profile that I like, because thing is, whenever you look at two-door Tahoes online, they're usually either like street or off-road specific, and I was trying to go for something a little bit in the middle. So it's a very specific thing to go for, but I ended up finding these. These are the Motor City Guardians, which I really like. So these are 22 inches, and I feel like basically the spoke going all the way to the outer section is a little bit more of that street look, whereas this ridge in here and the large center section give it a little bit more of that off-road look. Honestly, this vehicle is like the perfect size in my opinion, because if you guys remember, I had an old 04 Suburban, and that thing was so much fun to drive. Only thing is that thing was massive, so like when I took it to areas like Austin, it kind of limited what I actually could do.
I was taking off the little plastic.
No, don't take off the plastic yet. I couldn't really take it everywhere. I had to kind of, it actually limited where I could go and what I could do with it. This vehicle doesn't actually have that problem because it is a two-door version. So since it is a little bit smaller, I kind of want to play to that street side so I can drive it in more situations. But it is also a four-wheel drive, and I recently got into camping, so it's theoretically the best candidate to take camping. So I definitely want to keep that off-road factor as well. So essentially what I'm going for is just kind of getting somewhere in the middle so I can drive this vehicle as much as possible. So I do think 22s kind of bridge that gap and just kind of give it that nice look that I'm going for. Granted, the tires are going to be a factor in that overall. But basically with these wheels, you're going to see that the color tone for this vehicle is going to be blue and black. It's basically how it is already now. You know, it has a really dark tint back here. It has these clear taillights with the black housing. It's gonna have the black wheels and has black mirrors, the blue bumper and the black grille. And then the last thing is honestly just the rear bumper. It's just gonna be chrome for now. I know that there's a few different things that I could do, but as for right now, I'm not really too worried about it. It helps me load things up because I do, you know, use it to load things up. I know the vehicle is pretty dirty right now, but she did just get back from the shop, so I wanted to show you guys just, you know, right as soon as I got it. So I will be cleaning it and making sure it all looks good as we get to moving on with the vehicle. So currently I do have these two buckets. Previous owner got them done up like this, so it's this blue and gray two-tone with the Chevy emblem in the middle. It looks cool, but not really what I'm going for specifically. I will give them credit though for being power seats, because that on a vehicle this old is actually pretty cool. One of the things I've always loved with older vehicles were bench seats, because honestly they're so much more comfortable. You get a lot more space. You can fit an entire extra person that more easily. And I mean, Yvette could sit like right here next to me as opposed to like all the way over there.
So far away from
so
you.
far away. The only vehicles you can find them on nowadays are single cab trucks. I will say though, I have a ton of memories like when I was younger with my parents, my grandparents, just like, you know, with a bench seat. And it's just one of my favorite things. So I had been looking for a bench seat for this vehicle ever since I got it. Thing is, as you can see, the interior is blue. So I was looking for a specific blue bench seat because there's areas other than the fabric that are blue, and I want to make sure everything's cohesive. So while I'm looking for a bench seat, I do need it to also be blue, which super hard to find. I found 2 online. Both of them were at junkyards and both of them horrible condition. But nonetheless, a bench seat, specifically a 60/40 bench seat in blue for a vehicle like this, is in pretty short supply. So I couldn't get those 2 from the junkyard, but I did find a listing on Facebook Marketplace selling one, and it was actually for the front seat and the back seat, so I was just trying to separate them. The thing is, she was actually trying to get rid of her entire interior, more than just the seats, so worked out a deal. So she gave me her front bench seat, also got the rear bench seat, got the door panels, and probably one of the best things is she also gave me this dash, which doesn't really look super cleaned up. Granted, I haven't cleaned any of this. I literally just got it. I started cleaning the bench seat just the other day. However, I will clean all this for sure. But the thing about this, these AC vents are actually in near perfect condition, which if you have an OBS, let alone one with a different color interior, you definitely know that these are really hard to get. So being able to find these was super, super nice because I'll be able to replace them and have functioning AC vents in my vehicle. Because the AC works just great. I just can't really adjust them because they're all busted. Also got this nice little cargo lamp switch, so we can probably rig something up with that. Definitely need to clean all these pieces up for sure, but nonetheless, having those AC vents and having a working bench seat are awesome. So these bench seats do have some sort of power option. I don't know exactly what the switch is, so there's still gonna be something, but adjusting it forward and back, I'm assuming is just gonna be this lever right here, which I'm cool with. And granted, these are cloth while the Tahoe's interior is vinyl. So basically my game plan is put it in as is right now just because it's still really hot. This way it'll kind of cool off a little bit. And then once it gets colder, either reupholster it or get those specific seat covers for this vehicle that are in the blue vinyl so everything's cohesive. Because it turns out blue vinyl for a vehicle like this is actually pretty uncommon. I won't say rare specifically, but it's relatively uncommon. Usually it's gray or tan. So definitely want to play to that because blue vinyl is pretty cool and I definitely like the way it feels and the way it looks. But you can see these brackets are blue, those levers right there are blue. This piece right here is blue, so while the fabric can be, you know, customized and reupholstered and everything, all those little pieces can't really be adjusted super easily, so I wanted to make sure I could get a blue one, and I did. So very thankful about this one. This one looks really good. No tears or anything, just dirty, but you know, gonna be cleaning it. That one's a little clean. This one takes a little bit more effort because one like big chunk of section. So the really good thing about all these pieces is that they actually were in storage for a large portion of time, so that they're not, you know, they haven't been weathered by the elements or anything.
They're in really good shape. Like, none of the stuffing is like all flattened out from wear, and there's like no big, like I don't see any holes. Like,
but I specifically wanted a 60/40 because with the 60/40 you can just pull this down. With a full bench seat, all this is basically one piece, and with that you would actually have to bring the whole thing down just to get people in the back. So rather than having to just for that, all you have to do is mess with this one seat just like it is already. So I will be getting rid of these seats, so I will be listing them for sale. If you're interested, I will have the links in the description box down below for the listings themselves. I'll also be selling the door panels, the back seat, and then whenever I get all the vents replaced for the dash, selling that as well. Don't worry, I'm gonna clean everything up. So if you're interested, feel free to shoot me a DM or just check the listing out in the description box. And if you tell me you came from YouTube, I'll definitely give you a discount. So my buddy Simon from Oxbeam reached out, said if I wanted to do a video together, so checked out what they had, and I found this really, really cool light bar. Now, light bars are more for that off-road vibe, and I am still trying to go for a little bit in the middle. Cool thing about this one specifically is that it has full RGB controls. It actually connects via Bluetooth to your phone. So on top of just having like white, you can actually change the colors and whatnot. Now, initially, I was wanting to actually put it behind the grill. Thing is, I don't think there's enough space, so we'll kind of have to rig something up. I have a few ideas for what I could do. I really, really love the profile of the vehicle, so I don't really want to change that. But here is the light bar itself. So it is the 32-inch light bar, and honestly I think it looks really, really good. You can kind of look in there, looks super, super in depth. Now again, don't really know how I'll specifically be putting it on the Tahoe, but nonetheless I do have some friends that have some trucks that would love to have a piece like this. We'll get an install on it regardless. You can see it has this plug right here and the rest of the wiring right here, so definitely some really cool pieces. I'm assuming some mounting pieces in here. I want to say a big thank you to Oxbeam. This thing looks so nice. I'll say one thing about it specifically that I'm curious about. So it does have, you know, full RGB controls. So I am curious how bright that gets if it's like full like light projection, so we'll see. But nonetheless, I think it'll be really, really cool and really, really good upgrade for whichever vehicle it ends up on. Initially, I was thinking it'd be cool to kind of have it hidden basically behind the grill. It has the off-road capability because it is a light bar, but also kind of have the RGB factors to make it more like a grill light, kind of like I put on the Fusion. We'll see. Nonetheless, I live in Texas and all my family and my cousins have trucks, so I'm sure they could definitely use a light bar if I can't get it on this vehicle specifically. Nonetheless, we'll try some stuff out, see what happens, but that's all we've got for the Tahoe. So new paint job, new interior, and new wheels. Those are the three big things I've been wanting to do to this vehicle forever because I think they'll really just kind of step up the look of it overall. Next video, I promise you this vehicle will be clean. She just got back from the shop and it might even rain here soon. We'll see. But hopefully that's gonna be it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I will see you in the next one.